What's up, Isopod Squad? We're going to go over 5 mistakes to avoid if you're wanting to be an isopod keeper or if you just currently started keeping isopods. I personally want to thank everybody for all the support. We already got 200 subscribers and we've only had our channel for a month now. We're going to reach 1,000 in no time and be doing an epic giveaway, so stay tuned. If I could go back to when I started keeping isopods, I wouldn't add more food, rush new bins, or assume moisture and ventilation was simple. These 5 mistakes cost me time, money, and entire colonies, and I'm going to go over them today so that you don't have to make the same ones. And here's mistake number 1, not having the correct ventilation or hydration for your isopods. Certain species are going to have different care. Some you can just keep however, and they'll just do really well. I recommend buying from established breeders. That way you can keep them how they're keeping them, and so when the transition comes, it won't be a rocky transition for them. You'll know exactly how they were keeping them and how you should be keeping them. Mistake number 2, pre-establishing a bin. You should make a bin and let it sit for 1 to 4 weeks. Now, some species, yes, you can just take them and throw them right in and they'll do just fine. They're very hardy. But then other species are going to need much different care. Higher ventilation, more watering, or maybe flake soil. Some species you actually run no leaves with whatsoever. So it really depends on what you're keeping. Another reason we do this is because mold tends to pop up in brand new bins. If you put fresh food in with a new bin, it's probably going to get mold on it. You might spot mold underneath hides that you just put down and it's only been 2 days. So you need to keep an eye on your bin, make sure there's no mold, so that way when you put your isopods in, they'll be good to go. Other species are going to be much more sensitive to their environment. It's important to have springtails and have your bin established. Mistake number 3, choosing the correct species. Maybe you want to get isopods as feeders for your pets, or maybe you just want to keep some species and see them. Maybe you want rubber duckies, but you'll never see your rubber duckies, to be honest. Most of the time they're not out, even when you have the numbers in the hundreds, unless you're putting out food. Then there are other species that I like to call day walkers. They're out all the time. They're feeding on moss and feeding on new things that you put in and food. They do come with a higher price tag, but that's the beauty of isopods, is once you have 10 or 12 and then you get 20, 30, 40, 50, it's crazy. And honestly, pretty easy to get back your initial investment. Mistake number 4, buying too many species too fast. Managing multiple species too early can lead to burnout and failures. Maybe focus on 2, 3, 4, 5 species and scale slowly as you get their care down. I know how fun it can be to start getting new species and keeping a ton of different stuff, but it is a little bit of work and some maintenance, especially at first when you're making all of the bins and getting everything dialed in. I personally started with some wild caughts that I found outside, and then I bought 3, 4 species, worked with those, and then next thing I knew I had 15, and now we keep around 75 bins. That's one thing I've actually noticed in the hobby is people get crazy and they will buy 100 species. So you can do that if you want, of course. But just be prepared for it and don't let the pod suffer because of negligence because you got too many. Some species breed like crazy and you will be overran with them and have no idea what to do with all of them. So mistake 4, don't get too many species unless you're ready for that. And that goes with mistake 3, know which species you're getting because you might get overran if you pick the wrong species and that might not be what you're looking for. And this brings us to our 5th and final mistake. And if you guys made it this far, thank you so much. Please like, subscribe. We're going to do an epic giveaway at 1,000 subs. We're going to go live. We'll make a video before that where you guys can comment, and then we'll take people from the comments. And a few lucky people will be going home with some ember bees and some other cool stuff. Our 5th and final one is going to be overfeeding. You only need to put in enough food for 1 to 2 days that they'll clean it out of whatever you're feeding them off of, a leaf or a food dish or whatever it might be. I really hope this video was helpful for anybody looking to get into the hobby or just starting. And also, personally, I don't use any fresh foods. Everything I use is like freeze-dried or a powder form. This is to prevent mites. Mites will happen with fresh food. I've seen it happen all the time. People will put a big chunk of fresh food in there, and then their bin is just overran with mites. We're looking forward to bringing you more videos, and until next time, this is Trent with Pods for You.